Hello my little geese, welcome back to my channel. This is Shamali speaking, and today we're on day 13 of our 30-day challenge to create pack Felmanora without using any online services. Oh my gosh, brain fart in the morning already. And I time traveled back and forth, so I don't really know where I was exactly in July in my last gameplay yesterday. Since then, I time traveled back and forth so that I could grab some full DIYs. So I worked hard and I got my tree bunties arch. I was super lucky, in fact. And then I got a mush loose tool, which is amazing, mush log, mush lamp, not sure if I'm gonna be using them, and mush parasol as well. And more importantly, we got into our mess. Look at this. Two beautiful green mums, two of them, yes, and the purple mums are spreading. And then we got two purple thingy, yesent. So I think for today, I really want to complete the transition area in between the resident service and Melba's home, and maybe also start on the, I don't know, the museum or Nooks Cranny. But anyway, let's not go ahead. We still have builds to complete and dailies to do. My dailies, I think I did. Okay, Bladders didn't want any of our fossils. What a sad world. So you know what, I'm gonna go ahead, go sell them right this minute, and then I am gonna start decorating this island. So I decided to start working on this little transition area in between Melba's yard and the resident service, or that abandoned playground. And for that, I also thought this was the perfect spot to place Nooks Cranny. So in the end, I'm working on 3 builds in one, if I must say, because I'm finishing up that little forest as well behind the playground. The problem over here is that I kept on moving my trees because my cliff was blocking it, and honestly there were ways to do it without a cliff, but I just had to build my Nooks Cranny on a cliff. This is, I don't know, this was how I invented it, and I had to do it this way. So I really wanted to have my Nooks Cranny on a cliff and have this idea that it is gonna be lost in the woods, that the Nooks, like not the Nooks Cranny, but the district shopping in general is lost in the woods, and there is nothing else you can do except like wander and find a shop, ideally an old shop that hasn't been updated since the 80s, because I don't know why I'm fixating on the 80s, but that's how it is. That was in my mind, a old forest with an old shop in the middle of it. So basically that was my idea for this, and while I was there I was thinking, well, I might as well finish up that Melba's waterfall thingy, you know, so I could place my tier cliff, the waterfalls, and the trees on top of the cliff, so we could have this beautiful idea I had, like where all the tree would just merge into one. In the end, doesn't look as the trees merge into one, but I still love it. So that was my idea. For now, I'm just showing you the terraforming, but honestly at one point I got bored of it and I was like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to watch like me terraforming for hours and hours, because that's basically what I did that day. So I just like skipped it, but I just wanted to show you that I would go a lot, and that is something I try to not keep because it's a bit repetitive, but I try to go always to the front of my build to double check how it is looking like, because it might look one way from the side or from the back, and then it might look completely different from the front. And especially I do struggle a lot with perspective, or at least like within a build. So going to the front helps me to envision if I have enough space, because from here I'm convinced I have like so much space on my cliff, and I have literally 3 rows of cliffs, so you know. And then I started working on my path, so I decided to do a little zigzaggy path that is going to the staircase. The staircase is marked, like the incline is marked with this dirt, like in-game dirt path, let's say. And I really wanted to have, as usual, a natural path that is zigzaggy, that is also getting larger and narrower and all of that. I really want to have this feeling that you're not following a path. It is a path that has been created by people walking kind of off trail in a forest. You know what I mean? Like when you're going to walk in a forest and there is no path, but you still see a path because people walked and that create a path. So that is exactly what I wanted to have. Like people walked and wandered around the trees. In this case, I'm just placing the trees around my path, but same ideas, potato, whatever. So that is exactly what I'm trying to do. And I'm also trying to mix and match the trees together. I don't want to have too many normal trees or too many cedar trees at the same area, and I also want to vary the height together. I do love a little medium trees, but I know for cedar trees it looks a bit weirdish, and in a forest I would say you have usually taller trees, so that's what I did. Also moved some of my items because they were in the way of the path, and so you couldn't walk with all those changes I did. So basically that was my main goal for this, was just to move my forest around so it would work with the cliff, not have too many holes in the forest. I don't know, that's something that is obsessing me, that is still obsessing me. I am really going crazy because I feel like I have holes, because you know how you cannot put trees like next to each other and you have to leave space. Well, I hate having those spaces and that you can see in between. So yeah, I don't know. You can see that I'm not walking a lot in forest because probably there is a lot of holes in between the trees, but I don't know. In my head, no. It's a dense forest. And then this is the moment I started working on my little cliff on top of like my second tier, so that I could work on my waterfall. And I'm gonna do a basic shape that is kind of the same. There's 2 cliffs, one per waterfall, because that totally makes sense. And then I place the trees on the right part of the cliffs so that it looks like it is forming a giant unique tree or whatever, something like that. So yeah, there was nothing super duper original on this cliff creation. I think if you don't know how to create small cliff, those are 2 basic shapes that you can reuse all the time. So maybe I should create for you a tutorial, like, you know, showing you basic cliff shapes that you can reuse everywhere. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. That could be super fun. And yeah, so I'm just placing the waterfall. Had to extend a bit my cliff because yeah, waterfall does not work everywhere. This is something driving me insane, like having the waterfalls not flowing the way I want. Anyway, enough ranting about this. In the end, this terraforming and changing the trees and everything took me so long, and then I had to pay for the incline that you're gonna see in a minute, so I had to time travel a bunch of camera to make a bit of money, you know. That this took me so long that in the end the build in itself took forever, and I was like chaos or crazy tired. So you will see that my Nooks Cranny is just placed. I have a bunch of items. Anyway, I feel like it is yeah, that's when I skipped it, but I feel like it is a bit what you would expect for a shop lost in the woods. Not too many items. But yeah, so there is not too much decorated on that cliff by the end of the video, just the Nooks crannies and a bunch of items and a path. And a path, that's still that. That still takes a lot of time. And so I'm tracing the Nooks cranny and I'm trying to evaluate the distance I have from the border of the cliff, because I would not want my Nooks crannies to be peeking at the playground or from the resident service. I really want you to be able to feel like it's lost in the woods. So I had to, you know, tracing it with the dirt path, make it that you can go back and go back and go back and not have to pay 10,000 times. I keep on saying this, but this is life. This is life. So that was kind of it for this. Then I'm placing the path, and then what I decided to place as item is, for example, a lot of boxes, because I felt like maybe there is like old stock that never has been moved inside the shop and that is like a bit abandoned over there, or maybe they tried to move out of the island and like take some boxes with them. So that was kind of this little story in my head. I love having stories whenever I'm building, by the way. So if you're a bit struggling, try to tell your stories. I swear that helps a lot, or at least for me, this is my little secret. And then I also placed an old gas station. Is that retro pump or something like that? Something among those lines, you'll see. And I customized it into the rusty colors, because I feel like, yeah, this is totally maybe something you have in a store. You could have a gas station, or at least I'm pretty sure that's something I've seen in movies or series. So that's why I wanted to go too. And I used also the oil barrel because they goes well together, aesthetic, you know. And I felt like in those rusty variation, it feels like it's very abandoned. It's all rustic, it's all moldy and abandoned, you know. So I feel like going with those rusty items is really working for an abandoned look. Although I didn't want to have too many items anyway, because when it's abandoned you kind of don't have too much items. I guess. So yeah, that's basically what I did for this build. I placed also some flowers, but honestly I was tired of showing you how I place flowers, because it's pretty easy, you know. I take my flowers and I just drop them at random places. Plus I'm waiting for them to flower apocalypse and reproduce and have many flowers. So there is nothing exciting about this. Maybe but towards the end of this challenge I will have better flower plantation to show you. Oh, I still showed it. Oh, I thought I cut that off. I did the editing a while ago. I'm tired. So anyway, that's kind of it. But you know, flowers, just place them randomly. That's what works best for something very natural. Just random flowers all around. And then anyway, they will spread. So unless you don't want them to spread, then place custom design to limit the spreading. So I'm gonna leave you here to enjoy the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to put a thumbs up to the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are not already, so you can see the rest of the challenge and how it is gonna turn out. I'm so excited to be doing this with all of you. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.